Good morning. I actually have a voice. It's still pretty squeaky, but I'll take it. I actually have like tonalities for the past couple of days. It was brutal. So I wanted to pop on here real quick to kind of share a couple of things. So I'm trying something new. So I hired a social media manager, and she's the one who's doing my posting on my page. And so I'm going to be focusing more on like lives and like stories and stuff like that. So I thought I would just pop on here and talk about something that came up yesterday, and I thought it was really good to share. It's more like working dog related, but it's definitely pet dog related as well. So yesterday I had a full day of training with my work dog, and my coworker with a issue with her dog. So he was lacking motivation. And a lot of times, like, we need to think outside the box, right? Because these dogs, like, we have to be smarter than them. As much as they love their jobs, sometimes, like, just like us, we do get unmotivated sometimes, okay? And she was struggling. Like, he had a really slow indication, and, like, he's a very seasoned dog, so he knows his job very well. And she was just asking, like, I don't know what to do. And she was kind of picking, myself and my other coworker's brain. And she said, I don't know what to do. And I told her, anytime you don't know what to do, always go back to basics. That's always going to be your answer. And as you get more seasoned and more experienced, it's really hard for you to understand this concept, because you're like, I've done so much growth. I don't want to. And it's so human nature to be like, I already know that. My dog already knows that. Why would I go back there? It's because if ever there's any, like, the dog is always doing the best that it possibly can with the information that you're giving. Dogs they will have off days as well, okay? They can feel ill. They can have there's so many variables, especially detection. Like, I don't know, if we're doing an outdoor search, like, the environment will obviously help. The airflow, the direction of the wind. Like, there's so many variables just, like, on that aspect, but like physically, emotionally, like mentally, like there's different things that can be going on with the dog. Dogs can definitely have bad days or off days, or they're just not feeling it, they're not motivated. And yesterday there was definitely a lack of motivation. So sometimes what we can do, a dog that's usually motivated and that is kind of not, you kind of want to tease them. So what we did yesterday, we had to, so basically, like, you don't want the dog to negotiate. So he was actively searching, and then he was taking way too long to indicate. So I suggested for her to pull him off and to go put him in the crate. So that was like a negative punishment, okay? Well, for him, seeing other dogs do the job, it builds their drive up. So the next round, he was a little bit more motivated, but I also told her, I said, you also need to be motivated, because you guys are a team, and sometimes we forget that. We tend to forget on the issue, on the problem. We're so in our heads trying to dissect the issue, and that we're not actually in the moment and have. So we just got to remember that when we're actively doing something specific with our dogs, like, we are a team. Even though if you're not like working with a dog, like, you guys are still a team. You're a handler and a dog. And we really, really, really need to remember to have fun, because the dogs, if they're doing a job, they don't know they're doing a job, or they're being tested, or the pressure is on, like, that we hold. So there's a quote out there that they say that novice handlers will always work on the advanced stuff, and advanced handlers will always work on the basics, because an advanced handler understands that you can't have the advanced stuff without the basics, and the basics is always the foundation. So if there's a little crack in the foundation, you got to go and fill the crack, okay? So always go back to basics. It's always the answer. And you make it easier for the dog, you make it a more positive association, and you have to have. So the minute that we start having fun, the game changes every single time. And I'm not preaching this because I'm perfect. I also have to listen to my own advice. So maybe next year I'll be listening to my memories on my Facebook or my Instagram, and I'll be like, yup, still need that reminder, because we do. We're very easily like triggered emotionally. And then it screws up the game, but we forget to have fun, to be in the moment. And a lot of times, like, we're very too much intellectual. We tap in too much into the intellectual part, And we overanalyze, and a lot of times the problem isn't very complex. It usually stems from the basics. So I guess any takeaway, if you're struggling with your dog, always go back to basics. It's never going to be like lost, or it's never going to be like a wasted time. You can never perfect the basics, or you can never do it enough, is what I'm trying to say. And just like a little highlight about the situation yesterday, once the motivation was built up, boom, the indications were quick. They were precise. They were nice. And I'm getting a little like, I felt a little bit of goosebumps because I saw my coworker smile like on the corner of my eye, and I looked at her and I said, look at you. And you can just feel the energy, the whole energy changes, guys. Okay. And she smiled the whole time, and he worked very well for her. So it's very, very important. We're never going to be motivated all the time. The dogs aren't going to be motivated all the time, but always go back to basics and remember to have fun. I know it sounds very like cliche, but the dogs don't know. It's like the moment that they are with you, it's like the best moment of their life. So make it the best moment of their life.